An evil ChatGPT is spreading across the dark web, enabling hackers to perform cyber attacks on a never-before-seen scale. The AI model is called WormGPT, and it has been designed specifically for malicious activities. So, what does this mean for all of us? Well, now the speed and number of scams that will be going on in day-to-day life will most likely go through the roof. Not to mention that I'd say an AI anywhere close the level of ChatGPT will be able to write better scams and dialogue than most scammers worldwide, considering that most of them don't speak English all that well, and that is their primary market. So what can you do about this? Well, keep in mind that there's probably going to be way more scams going around, so be careful, and if you'd like, follow this channel for more news like this. Welcome back to the channel. So we've got some pretty bad news today, but the first thing that we're going to be taking a look at is this actual interface of WormGPT. So this is a typical interface that you would open in a terminal, and we can see the prompt right here. So write me a Python malware, already some broken English over here, that grabs computer's username, external IP address, and Google Chrome cookies, zip everything, and send to a Discord webhook. And then as a programmer that has worked within Python occasionally, I can confirm that this is actual Python code. So ChatGPT, for example, can't really make malicious things like this because it does have various flags in there to make sure it's not going to be producing anything malicious, like just saying something like very bad or producing malicious code like this. However, this thing apparently can just generate the code without any problems. Now, does this mean the end of the digital world? No, not really, because even ChatGPT can't really write code all that well. It is certainly very good in generating a lot of very tedious to write code, but if you would be asking it to do something very complex, like just create a whole malware application, then you're most likely gonna need to dive deep into that code as a programmer yourself and fix it, so it doesn't just enable you to write malicious code if you're just not a programmer at all, because it produces many errors and things that just really don't make sense. And I'm speaking from experience because I have used it to help me in programming. And anything very simple like this that it can actually generate and that it can actually work, you have a bunch of this sort of code posted all throughout the internet, so it's not really that hard to get to. You don't even need an AI to generate it for you. The more worrying thing, I would say, are the actual scams, because ChatGPT, for instance, can write pretty good dialogue, so scamming someone would be a pretty decent use case for ChatGPT. Now, there are flags in ChatGPT, so you can't make malicious dialogue like that. And that's exactly why jailbreaks of ChatGPT are very popular. And these jailbreaks essentially allow you to bypass the limitations that ChatGPT has, so it doesn't generate anything malicious. Now, honestly, this was just a matter of time, because there's always going to be malicious people out there that are gonna want to cause harm to others for their own personal gain. And just like the technology, like the telephone, the internet, email, all of that, just like that completely revolutionized the world of scamming, it was only a matter of time till they used something like an AI for it as well. And the worrying thing is, I used to watch a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers that would mess with various scammers. Back a few years ago, I was really into that, and a lot of these scammers are very bad at their job, yet they still get a whole bunch of people, because when you look at these mini documentaries that people actually make, a lot of these scam call centers make hundreds of thousands of dollars per week or per month. Like, this stuff is very huge. And the scammers themselves have a very poor knowledge of the English language. They just have basically copy-paste stuff that they put in the dialogue. They have very stupid scams. Like, for instance, calling you and saying they're going to call the police because you have some sort of an outstanding bill for, like, whatever. Or perhaps that they sent you some money, but they sent you too much, so now please, you need to send it back, or they're going to call the police, or they're going to be sad. And they also just have no patience. They get aggravated very easily. So if I personally was trying to scam as many people as possible, rather than just having people like that scam for me, I would just tell ChatGPT to do it for them, because ChatGPT is just going to be way more effective, in my opinion, because it's very good in generating dialogue. Certainly a lot better than these scammers. Now, as with just pretty much any computer-related technology, we are going to be playing a cat and mouse game. So what does this mean? Back in the early days of email, people started phishing and sending spam emails. So then programmers, developers, they made filters that would filter out these emails. And since then, it's just been an ongoing cat and mouse game. As soon as they send some sort of an email that doesn't get flagged, there are other people that are updating these filters to actually work properly. So the same is probably going to be over here. There's going to be a lot of emails now generated with AI, and there's also going to be AI filters in applications that are going to be going through these things and really filtering them out. For instance, if some company is going to send you something, the AI might just check the email and okay, that might completely check out, but then they're going to go to the internet and they're going to search all about the company, and then the filtering is going to be done and so on. And what can you do? Well, just keep an eye out, because scams are probably just going to get amplified by a lot. So just be even more careful and suspicious for whether you're talking to a real person that's trying to scam you, or an AI that's trying to scam you, or a real person that's not trying to scam you, or even an AI that's not trying to scam you. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting situation at the moment. So I would love to know your personal thoughts on this. Are you worried? Are you not worried at all? What do you think is gonna happen in the next few years with this? And that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.